Welcome, everybody. This is Module 7, Lesson 3, the last one of this module. And we're talking about how to generate and convert leads into patients, because you can have a lead, but if you don't convert them, they're not a patient.
Yeah, that's right. What are we doing this for?
So let's understand leads a little bit better. What is a lead, and why is it important to treat every lead with care?
Yeah, a lead is anything that can lead into a patient for you, right? So it can be something as simple as someone inquiring on your website, right? It can be a call. It can be
Clicking into an ad.
That's right. Clicking into an ad. Any of those things are leads. And I think that people have this misconception about there being bad leads. There's no such a thing as a bad lead. There are some things that, meaning the lead might not be as qualified as the other one, but it's not a bad lead, especially when you start off. When you first start off, every person, every interaction that you have is a chance for you to hone your process, to be better, and to learn about what patients want.
Yeah, it might be, they don't have any teeth.
Yep.
You could send somebody, you could refer them to somebody that could help them with that.
There is an opportunity in every interaction. And I remember there were plenty of people who came when I first opened up that didn't have any teeth. I mean, that was a real thing. They came to the office, and what it did was it allowed me to watch my intake process and then start learning how to find better qualified leads or ask qualifying questions, right? So you work on your systems, and then again, you have the ability to refer that to another doctor to build that reciprocity.
Yeah, and you're learning, how do I vaccinate against, patients that don't line up with what I want, or their needs are different than what we provide and all of that. So let's talk about what's the difference between a cold, a warm, and a hot lead.
Yeah, so a cold lead is somebody that really didn't have much to do with you. Like, I mean, there's somebody that, when you cold call somebody, they don't know you. You call them and say, hello, I want to sell you something, or whatever.
Yeah.
A warm lead is somebody that's probably clicked on something, right? And a hot lead is someone who has actually walked in your door, scheduled the appointment. So the different temperatures of the leads mean something, right? The hot leads, you want to make sure that you are quick. I think you guys, you tell me all the time, speed the lead, right?
Yep, speed the lead.
Speed the lead. So with the hot leads, you got to speed the lead for sure, right? Because they're interested, they're excited, let's go, right? The warm leads, same thing, right? The cold leads, you can kind of inquire. Let me see what they want. If they want something a little bit more, or did they accidentally click on it?
And using Practice Beacon is a great resource for this, because even with cold leads, doing the speed to lead process is going to show them that, hey, I'm actually valued. Even if I accidentally clicked on it and it's like, hey, I'm not interested, you're like, okay, you put them in the do not call back, whatever. But when you are showing that process, it doesn't matter who's coming through the pipeline. They're getting the same. I'm calling back within 5 minutes. I'm sending text messages. I'm sending emails. I'm hitting them on all aspects, because each person is going to respond in a different way. Some people like email. Some people like text. Yep. But doing that is going to be huge. And we talked about referrals in the last module. That is a great warm lead, because they're coming in, they already have somewhat of trust for you. And if you are doing that, you're getting them in super fast. They're like, man, this is so nice. I'm not having to wait for this. And then you same day start them, all of that kind of stuff is going to be huge. So let's talk about generating some leads. What are some ways to bring new leads into the practice?
I think the easiest one is digital marketing, right? Of course, we have the referrals can give you leads, all those type of things. But if we talk about just how to get the most, digital marketing has to be it, right? And when we look at it, we think about, again, we want visibility in front of people, right? And we want to give them simple solutions to click on us, simple solutions to call us or contact us, or give us their information for us to contact them.
Yeah.
And digital marketing helps us do that.
And, the front desk is going to be kind of your soldiers here. They're making the first impression. And what are some things that you've, kind of put into your front desk that helps create that, oh man, I really want to go to elevation? So
one thing that we do as far as the front desk, we have to make sure that we hire growth-minded individuals, right? If you have somebody who is stagnant and doesn't want to grow, then they're going to they're going to hold you down, right? They're going to gatekeep all of those patients. But if you have somebody who is wanting to grow, they are quick to answer the phone. They're quick to get them scheduled. They are polite. They are doing the things that it needs to get them from a cold or warm lead into a hot lead, right? And that's what you want. You want to train them to convert that person to get them into your office where they can see why you're so great.
We have a lady on one of our teams. They do patient scheduling and everything, and she is so good at this where she connects with people. Like the rapport is so quick with her, but she does it in such a simple way. Instead of what's your date of birth, she's like, what's your birthday? It's just little things like that you can do to help create that feel and that connection right away on the call. So let's talk about the treatment coordinator. How can they help someone say yes to treatment?
Yeah. Well, the first thing they do, they've got to build rapport because they got to get those barriers down, right? And so if we think that we're getting sold something, the first thing that we do is like lock up, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't
crocodile brain.
That's
takes
right.
over.
We do not want to be sold something. So what I have my team do is build the rapport by asking like, what are the important things for them? Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, they have a reason that they're there, and if you can offer a solution that fits their problem, then they're going to say yes, right? And so she builds value, and then she makes sure that we understand the patient's needs and we make them link together.
Yeah, it's putting the treatment coordinator in that trusted advisor position where they can connect. It's not, the doctor is kind of removed a little bit. They're a little bit higher because they are the expert, but that trusted advisor, it's like a friend. It's like, yeah, this is how it's going to go. This, it's really a comforting thing. And that's going to help that guard come down and actually have that yes happen. So you already kind of talked about following up quickly with leads, but let's talk about special offers. Like, how can that encourage people to start within a practice?
At the very minimum, if you're not going to offer, discounts, there has to be some sense of urgency tied to this, right? It can't be like if you're going to offer, let's say, a $500 discount, right? Mm-hmm. You can't have a $500 discount that goes on inevitably. Like it can't go on forever. You have to say this $500 discount is going to end at some point. That kind of builds in that scarcity mindset. And I'm not saying that to use fear to influence a patient to start. I'm saying that because if you don't, they don't have any encouragement to move forward in a timely fashion. So one of the things that I always like to keep in mind is whenever you have these interactions with people that may not be a good candidate, that is an opportunity for you to wow them. And guess what? Those people know people. And so they can build, like, you can have a little army of people that are not qualified for your treatment, but are telling people out in the streets about your practice. And so it can actually pay off if you treat those people nicely and look at them as an opportunity.
Yeah, I love that because when you've had a good experience somewhere, it might be a restaurant, it might be a shopping experience, you are going to tell others about that. And it might be like, oh yeah, I went in there, the salesperson was so great, I didn't buy a thing, but you should go check them out.
That's right.
So let's talk about some common mistakes that can happen. What happens if you don't track or follow up with leads?
So we all know, like, if you don't track or follow up with leads, you're not going to consistently grow. That's one of the things that I think is so funny in business. There's so many times that I filled out a contact us form, or I've called and I don't get a call back. I don't get any type of information back. So they don't follow up on the lead. And I was a hot lead, right? And so that just doesn't make sense. If your business is to grow or sell something or have more patients come in, you've got to follow up with leads.
And 9 times out of 10, when somebody fills out their contact information, it's not just a click and like something pulls their information. They're putting in all of these things. They're filling out a little form. They are intentionally doing that because they're looking for that service. And, the first person that's going to respond is the one that's going to win them.
That's right.
So let's hit real quick. This is our last thing on this one. Why should you avoid using complicated words when talking to patients?
if you start talking over their head, then they start to feel inadequate. When they start to feel inadequate, then they start to take this weird stance, and you're not going to get through to them. So, I do a thing that I recap everything that I say, and I ask them, I say, does that make sense? Is that something that you could, agree to? Just to make sure that they understand. And then, of course, my treatment coordinator comes in there and cleans it up. I'm sure it makes it even easier to understand. But the idea is, if you are speaking over them or ways that they have a hard time understanding, then it's not helpful for them. They're not going to feel comfortable in the situation, and they're probably not going to say yes.
Most people, when they're trying to understand something, like I think about, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? It's like that show was there for a reason, because most people, when they come down to it, they're, on the day-to-day, they're not smarter than a fifth grader. So when you're talking with someone, having that fifth grade reading level language is going to be huge. And it also makes you feel more approachable as a person, instead of using all these big $5 words.
And what for? Like, really, what for? I mean, unless you're talking to a colleague, like, why are we using these? Like, this is not normal conversation. So you just try to make it as normal as possible, and I think you'll go a long way with that.
Well, there you have it, everybody. That is lesson 3 of module 7. We'll check in the next one.